Hi, I'm Caleb McMillan, Rifle Product Manager at Breda USA. Today I want to talk about changing or adjusting your pull weight on a Tikka T3X platform. So this is really simple to do. This is, in this particular model, this is a Tikka T3X light and stainless. It's got a single staged adjustable trigger on it, and that trigger adjusts from about 2 to 4 pounds. So in order to do this, you're going to have to drop your stock off and adjust this trigger from the inside. So it's very easy to do. All you need is a T25 bit and drop 2 action screws off. So let's get to it. So you're going to flip this over. Let's make sure that gun's unloaded first. We're good there. We're going to drop our magazine out just to show clear. And then again, take your T25 key, and there's 2 action screws on the bottom of this action where your trigger guard is. We're going to loosen those up. They should be torqued in about 35 to 40 inch-pounds or so it shouldn't be too hard to be able to do by hand. And now this stock and action is going to just separate right off. I'm going to set that to the side. I like to keep my screws and bottom metal still in the bottom of the stock so I don't misplace anything. I'm going to remove this bolt just to be cautious here. You're also going to need a hex key to adjust this trigger weight. So this is your factory trigger. Tikka makes, in my opinion, the best factory class trigger that you're going to find in a mass-produced rifle at this price point. There's 2 screws to adjust this trigger. One, this is the screw that's fastening the trigger mechanism or trigger assembly to the action. It's got a magazine retention spring here, but the screw here on the front side of the trigger is what we're adjusting for our pull weight. So we're going to take a 2.5 millimeter key, and I like to adjust this all the way out and then tighten that back in. So the further adjusting this all the way out reduces the pull weight, so down to about 2 pounds. Tightening this screw in is going to increase the pull weight. So I'm going to pull this all the way out. It's about right there. And I like to give it just about 1/4 of a turn after it's all the way out. Maybe 1/8 of a turn, just depends on your personal preference. Go about right there. And now we're good. That's all it takes. I'm going to drop this action and screw it back in. I'm going to pull this trigger guard out and my action screws out. In Tikka, on the inside of the Tikka stock, there's a steel recoil lug right here that's going to align with the action recoil lug slot on the front of this receiver. So just make sure that you're putting this back on, that recoil lug is aligned. You'll be able to feel that as you assemble this back together. And you'll also note that the back of this stock fits with the back of this action. So if it's too far back or too far forward, you'll kind of feel that. Also, one other good thing to check is just the barrel channel here to make sure there's not too big of a gap between the stock and the barrel. This is aligned the correct way, but if it's too far back, you'll notice that. So we're going to set this back upside down. On your trigger guard, there's a little boss on the back side of this. It's going to align perfectly with a hole on the bottom of this stock. Just make sure that that's aligned as you push this back in. Some guys are breaking that off every now and then and give you a little bit of trouble. But this is just going to drop right back in place. Now we're ready for our action screws. There's 2 different size screws on our action screws. Just remember, long goes in the back, short goes in the front. If you get those mixed up, you're not going to be able to tighten it all the way and you're going to have some accuracy problems. So remember, long in the back, short in the front. We're going to take our Torx key, we're going to tighten these back up. We're going to take our Torx key and we're going to tighten these back up. And just make sure that this goes back into a factory torque setting. All right. You're gonna slide your bolt body back in with your magazine and you're ready to go. You can check that trigger weight to feel if that's what you like. If not, go back and do the same step again and adjust it or tighten it, per your preference.